YouTube. So I've been working on this bass all day yesterday and today. What a pig it's been. And it's just had its last wee punch in the guts there. I'm sorry, it's doing that auto-focusing thing there. Close the curtains. More natural light might stop doing it. Yeah, so this is an Ibanez SR300 sound gear. So we've got 2 soap bar pickups, volume control, a blend control. I think it's a tone control, or is it maybe mids? I think it's mids and then bass and treble on a concentric pot. It's got a really nice 5-piece neck. I do like, actually, the guy who I've had this in for fix, his pal who gave me a lift over and fixing his guitar as well, had one of these, and it's a bit modern for me. It kind of actually reminds me of it's got a Satriani GS1000 or GS100 guitar. There's a certain Satriani, but it's an Ibanez as well, thing going on somewhere shape wise. So I got this in. Basically, he asked me to get knobs that fitted. A couple of the knobs were missing, and clean the bridge and put new strings on. So that was dead easy. So I cleaned. To be honest, it was pretty manky around about the corners. I think he just bought it new. Really manky on the back, pure. So I've cleaned the neck, tightened up the tuners. Again, all these guitars when you buy them, see this bolt on the top. You can get to it from the top with a socket set or an adjustable spanner or something. Now, every time you change strings, or if it's the first time you've had the guitar, you change the strings, just make sure that they're tight, because these were all wobbly and stuff. It's like, it happens, and it's exactly the same in guitars. Any of the sort of Gotoh type tuners like that. I don't know what the reason is for it. Maybe in the factory when they make these things, they don't want to tighten them up too much in case they crack the paint or something. I don't know, but to tighten them up. Truss rod, the neck was actually the backbone, so it just buzzed all the way up. I cleaned the bridge as best I could. It's actually a Cosmo finish, so it's kind of meant to look sort of weathered, but now it doesn't look dirty. Yeah, so that was the things that was asked to do. The blend pot, an absolute pig that was. It wasn't working. So I had to replace it, and actually it was pure crushed. And then this is my fault though. I thought, right, it's not working, so I'll try putting in another blend pot, one that I've got in my parts box, and it did exactly the same, and it was like, oh, what? So I took it to bits, and is it still in bits? It is in bits. The wiper was completely mangled on the top, so the bottom half of the pot worked, the top half was completely goosed, and I think that the one I had was like that as well, so I bought another one, put a new blend pot in, had to wire it backwards, because not all blend pots are created equal. What it was doing was, it was a full bass pickup at one end, full treble pickup at the other end, and in the middle completely off, which is not what you want. So you just flip that upside down and it all works. Yeah, am I through moaning and complaining yet? No, strings. Yeah, the strings that are on it were actually pretty good, and I was thinking, he's putting new strings on it. I'm taking these ones and putting them on my basses because these are pretty good. These are short scale strings, which I didn't notice until 10 minutes ago when I went to plug it in, and see, short strings are tapered at the ends. I can find the taper. You're never going to see it anyway. But they taper down to be thinner at the end, so they can go into normal tuning pegs. These ones tapered here, so the string, when it went over the nut, was like half the thickness, so basically it just buzzed like mad because the string was full thickness at, I think it was just before, in the middle of the 3rd fret, and then it went down to being much thinner, so you can't put short scale strings on a long scale bass. I am going to suggest that I nab them for my Fernandez, actually, because it's short scale and I probably quite like those strings. Yeah, so I think that's me finished complaining about this bass. These strings are pretty much new anyway, or what I would still class brand new. It might be 6 months or a year old or something like that, but they're still good. I'd imagine the previous owner didn't play this bass very much because the electrics didn't work. I hope the guy knew that when he bought it. So, neck pickup. Bridge pickup. Mid off. So I'm not exactly sure what that part is. I assume it's meant to be there. It doesn't have like a tone put on it. It runs into the circuit board, so it's doing something good. And then on this one, you've got the bass on the bottom. It's so bassy, it's making something vibrate. Something over here vibrating. Such the thing when you go so bassy. That's not coming through the guitar though, or through the amp. Treble. Treble off. The joys of having massively overpowered bass amps in the house is it makes other things in the room rattle. There's so much junk sitting there, it could be anything rattling. The rattling there is totally doing my head in. Could be one of the guitars actually. Yeah, I'll stop trying to find out what that rattle is. It's not the bass though. Maybe I just turn the volume down a wee bit. It won't do it anymore. Still doing it. It's almost there. Doesn't do it when it's not. When you're not on you don't have the bass boosted to maximum. Try to get it as trebly as we can. So treble, bass, treble, volume. I can't do slappy. And then the bassiest we can get it is bass pickup, bass up full, treble down at nothing. Feel that in my gut more than I can hear it. Ibanez Pals bass. I really like, see, I know it's stupid and doesn't make any difference, but see when you're, because it's got this stripe on the back of the neck here, you can see that when you're playing, so it's kind of cool. Normally, I've got a few sort of through necky or 5-piece necks and stuff. I normally can't see it, but it really gives you something to look at. And it's like I always think that's important in guitars, which most guitars seem to neglect. That when you're actually playing it, there's only, you see the top edge of this and you see the side of the neck. You don't really see any of the rest of the guitar. So if I was ever going to start a guitar company, I would have lots of interesting stuff going on here, because that's the bit you can actually see when you're playing it. And in this case, this extra stripe, which looks really cool, and this might even be fancy woods. I've got a funny feeling that might be Bubinga or something. It doesn't look like rosewood or walnut or something in the middle. 5-piece being a great move, and this is like, basses have evolved where guitars haven't. You know, it's like a guitar. You buy a guitar just now is still that. It's what, 1950. Or whatever it is, that it's just a Strat, so it's still that, whereas basses have progressed through, and it does have a huge scope of sounds, lots of sounds. If you're doing much more modern stuff, and I'm like a P-bass fan, so I can one pickup, that's all I need. It's nice having all this. This does a heck of a lot of scope though. Even though I'm a bass player, I've started using the tone control since I joined the Black Sabbath band. That's it. If you want to do, that's both pickups on. That's basically everything in the middle. Sounds great. Sounds like a P-bass. So that'd be my unique setting for this bass, I think. To start off with anyway, would be just put everything in the middle and you're laughing. Or the volume's at full. Still not sure what that knob does. It's definitely something. And it's something within the active circuit. It's not an indented pot. Actually, I think it. So yeah, I mean, like a lot of these things with Ibanez, what did I say this was, an SR300? So it's not the cheapest one. The cheapest one will probably be about a 100 and a 200. So it's, I don't know, 300, maybe a £400 bass, something like that. Total guess, I haven't looked it up. You can't really go wrong with Ibanez at this sort of level. This sort of Yamaha, or and it's excellent. It's really well balanced test. It's really comfortable. It plays really well. The neck on it's really nice. It's just everything apart from. I don't know. I don't like the looks of basses generally. Any basses. So I remember when I started playing the bass, I wanted an EBO because I thought it was the only good looking bass you could get. I quite like Stratocasters and Telecasters and SGs to look at. But the EBO was the only bass I actually liked the look of. I kind of eventually grew into maybe accepting the P bass. I still think the jazz bass looks wonky. I kind of like the sort of weird Washburny ones recently. There's that one and there's one that shape. It's kind of, I don't really like the shape of jazz basses. As the guy said, yeah, it's a bit modern for me. He's like, you don't like anything after 1986, and it's like, it's about right. I think generally any guitar designed after 1986, not really my thing. I do love the era, the early 80s, where this sort of thing comes from, where they're trying to do mad stuff, but it's not modern. Well, it's modern for the 80s. What a lot of crap I'm talking today. I think it's more quite partly down just to relief of this is actually eventually working. Couldn't believe it when I decided, or I thought the pickup was goosed. Like, it's like, you know, it just didn't work. And I was like, right, so I tried, and when I shorted out the blend pot, the pickup one, I was like, yes, because I looked up trying to get these pickups, you're not going to get them. You know, if it was broken, it's not like a P-base. It's like, oh, my P-base pickup's broken. I'll just buy a P-base pickup, and you can get them from a tenner up to hundreds of pounds, and they'll all fit in the same hole. Same with humbuckers or single coils. These are Ibanez Makey ones, so I don't know how easy. Actually, they're very curved on the top. Quite cool. You're not really going to be able to get ones that fit aftermarket anyway, or not cheap ones anyway. So I shorted out the blend pot, and then the neck pickup was working. It's like, yay! So I put in another blend pot, and it did exactly the same thing. So the other one I had must have been burst. That's completely my fault. But just buy a new one. So I'm going to do, I was going to do it today, but I've had 2 visitors and I've fixed this base. I'm going to do a video on the stage, Washburn stage season, try and do a sort of documentary, everything I know, might even write down some sort of script. So that's black powder or something, or whatever it is. Rock on, Kitsune, may the fox god be with you. Rock on, catch you later.